the whole topic is going to be around the Speaker of the House. My friends at Culper's Canteen Cup, they went ahead and did an episode with this, heard briefly on it. And we just, this has been the story this week. Now, usually, when after the election like we just had, we just came off of a brutal 2022. I understand that we won the House. We did lose the Senate. We lost a seat in the Senate. We don't have the presidency right now. It is very doom and gloom, especially as me as a conservative. And I follow along the Republican Party. But, and we just, like I said, we came off a brutal 2022. 2022 was brutal in a lot of ways, but especially the midterm elections. We were told, and I told you, my audience, that I felt there would be a red wave. The red wave didn't come. It was a red trickle or a red puddle. It wasn't big. And we only have the House by 4 to 5 seats. And it is a win. I've explained this in past podcasts. It is a win that we have the House of Representatives. It is a win. But it's one of those wins, and I compared it to football. You're cheering for your favorite football team. And they won by 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, and they just played horribly in some way or another. I hope I don't offend none of my friends in the that live in the Tampa Bay area, but it's like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've seen this, and it's not just because I'm a Saints fan. I'm using this as a comparison. Tampa Bay Buccaneers stank all year, but for some way or another in the fourth quarter, they always find a way to win. And you hear every commentator say this about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, they didn't have a real good 3 quarters, but at the end, they came out on top. And that's how I feel right now with the Republican-led legislation. The Republican Party barely made it out, but they did enough to secure the House of Representatives. And like I said, it was brutal. I felt down and depressed. But then you go into a new year, 2023, and you know that the Republicans are going to take over the House. Kevin McCarthy should be Speaker going into the year. But then you start hearing these nasty rumors about like someone with Andy Biggs and Matthew Gaze, I think from Florida, and a few other Republicans saying, nope, we're not going to vote for Kevin McCarthy. We don't think Kevin McCarthy's has proven himself. We don't think Kevin McCarthy's tough on policy. We think he's going to work with the established Republican Party. You start hearing this, and I was one. I said, will he have the votes? Well, this week, it came out that I believe it was on Tuesday, they started the process for voting for the House Speaker. And ladies and gentlemen, it took 3 days to vote in the House Speaker. 3 days, 15 votes later. That hasn't been done. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm watching Fox News while doing my paperwork here in the office. And I'm seeing this and I'm like, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the Republican Party, and look, if I had a theme, there's no unity in the Republican Party. None whatsoever. Because, ladies and gentlemen, first off, how do you go? And look, I'm gonna break down why they didn't want to ask Kevin McCarthy to be Speaker, why there was so many holdouts, and all that. But how do you go into the first part of the year saying we don't know who our House Speaker is going to be? On the Democrat side, however, and this is how the Democrats pushed it all week, that they were unified because they were behind Hakeem Jeffries. They were, look, I heard their speeches when they would nominate Hakeem Jeffries. We're unified behind Hakeem Jeffries. The Democrat Party is united and ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, this made us look like buffoons in the Republican Party. And a lot of people wondering why I'm thinking about leaving. I am. I have the paperwork. Do I stay here and do I fight with it or do I jump ship? That's on my part right now. But ladies and gentlemen, how do you go into a legislative session saying we don't know what's going to go on? We don't know how many votes it's going to take. How do you go into a legislative session like this? And ladies, maybe this is why the Democrats are so successful in what they do. Nancy Pelosi, as House Speaker, would always say, I'm not bringing it up to the floor unless I know I have 218 votes. The Republicans, hey, we're going to take it out on a whim. And ladies and gentlemen, this caused confusion this week. Now, late Friday night into Saturday morning, I guess you could say Saturday morning, Kevin McCarthy did get the votes. He got it by 216. 5 Republicans went out and said, well, we vote present. It held out for 15 rounds. I was shocked at some of these people they were nominating. One was Donald J. Trump to be Speaker of the House. Now, if that would have flew, I would have laughed. And you would have really seen the Democrats and the Republicans, a lot of Republicans, as we say in Cajun country, got their cassons in a bunch. Ladies and gentlemen, they were bringing out, Donalds, Jordans, they brought out a lot of good names to be Speaker of the House. Now, a lot of people are wondering, why did this take so long? Because, look, like me, I follow this. I follow this all the time. And I just, the normal people will watch this and say, why is it taking so long? Oh, they're disunified. Oh, they can't get their act together. And I'm going to go ahead and bring at least 2 points to you guys, why this took so long. One, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the 20 holdouts for a majority of these 15 votes. A common theme around these people that were voting against McConnell was that they didn't think that Mitch McConnell would be strong enough or would be tough enough to the Republican establishment. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to realize this. All last midterm, majority of these representatives ran that they were going to go to Washington and change how everything was run. They were going to make sure that things did not go the way it's been going for 2 years, where the Democrat Party and some established Republicans have been pushing left-leaning socialistic agendas through or passing these MAGA spending bills. Did I say MAGA or mega? MAGA. I'm thinking of Donald Trump. But these mega bills, these spending bills, they ran on saying, no, we're not going to do that. Also, you had Kevin McCarthy saying that we're going to win possibly 40 seats in the House of Representatives. And yeah, prop to Kevin McCarthy. He did his job and he stood to it. If I was this man, I'd be like, y'all don't want me, I'm not even going to run for it. But he stood by it because he wanted the job. But Kevin McCarthy spent a lot of money and a lot of time saying we're going to have a red wave. And some of these Republicans said, you didn't get the job. And he would say, well, I won the House of Representatives, but it's like, no, you won it by slim majority, but you want to change rules. And so that was their whole argument for these 15 days. They didn't think Kevin McCarthy, and I can agree to some extent, that he was not conservative enough. And Kevin McCarthy is part of this wall of Washington. He's been there for 14 years, if I'm not mistaken. Kevin McCarthy has some good qualities in him, but the Republican Party, some of the Republican Party didn't think he was tough enough on the establishment. They thought we would be better with like someone with Andy Biggs or Jim Jordan, somebody that was strong in conservatism, somebody that would change the way Washington is run. I think it's Chip Roy from the state of Texas went on the floor multiple times and say, look, this is what we have to do to make sure we get what we want. What was Kevin McCarthy hiding? Well, it wasn't hiding nothing. He didn't agree to a couple of things, and evidently he did agree to a lot what the Freedom Caucus wanted. But like Chip Roy was like, look, we're doing what the American people want us to do. We are debating this. We are trying to make sure we put the right person in power. We want to make sure that stuff is going to happen. So I can agree. Now, like I said, I can agree with some of the aspects of these people, why they held out. This is why I don't agree with the holdouts, though. Because basically it made the Republican Party look like fools. Because you got to realize, at the same time, you're running and saying, we want to change things that are going on in America. We want to stop the establishment. We want to stop big spending. We want to stop all this stuff. You're holding out and you're delaying the job of you're delaying investigations. You're delaying the job that these people are elected to start the process. Now, like I said, I understand some of the aspects of these people. Some of these people wanted to make sure that Kevin McCarthy would hold true to what he said. But ladies and gentlemen, when you have the Democrat Party running around saying, "Oh, we're unified. Oh, we're all together. We want to make sure that our agenda gets passed." But look at these buffoon Republicans. These buffoon Republicans cannot make it. They can't even agree on their speaker. It makes us look bad. It makes the Republican Party look like we don't know what we're doing. And this goes to a point that I brought out a few podcasts ago, and you can find it on TikTok on my reels, where I said the Republican Party don't know how to lead. Ladies and gentlemen, we barely got enough votes to get anything passed. And we can't decide on who we're going to have for Speaker of the House. Now, like I said, Kevin McCarthy evidently did get it because the five that would be in tête deux, if you don't know what tête deux means in Cajun French, that means a hard head. But they were hard-headed. They were, I'm going to say, because that's my culture, tête deux. They're being hard-headed. They just didn't vote for Kevin McCarthy. Now, Kevin McCarthy gave them what they wanted. One of the major reasons why they didn't want to vote for Kevin McCarthy was because Nancy Pelosi pulled out a provision that said only one representative of the United States could ask for a recount or a new speaker. And he didn't want to fight. That's been going on for 100 years. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I did learn a lot this week watching this. I did watch how if somebody puts their mind to something, they can get something done. Two. Like I said, there's two sides of this coin right here, and I hope you're not confused about Isaac, where you stand with this. I think they should have voted Kevin McCarthy right from the jump. But them holding out did put some measures back in that Nancy Pelosi took out. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad Kevin McCarthy got it. I don't look at Kevin McCarthy the same as I do Mitch McConnell. I don't think he's that big part of the big government. Now, does he have to work with the Democrats? And yeah, Speaker of the House, he has to do all that. But ladies and gentlemen, my overall view is that this shouldn't have happened. The Democrat Party should be united going forward. This didn't make us united. This made us look like buffoons. This made us look stupid. And when I say we, I'm talking about the Republican Party. This should have never happened. Now, it did happen, and some things did happen that went out good. I understand that. But, ladies and gentlemen, all we did was fuel the Democrats' attacks on us with this week. And this should have been solved behind closed doors. Kevin McCarthy should have just said, look, I'm going to do it. I understand he was trying to show he was the boss. But, ladies and gentlemen, this does not look good for the Republican Party, especially this week. Now, we're going to have to see as we go on.